Monday before sunrise, somewhere inside Gaza, two hostages rescued in a heroic operation are making their way home. They are not the only ones whose hearts are warm. For a few hours, all Israel felt their hearts filling up.
For me, it was as if I was on a mission to rescue my own father.
4 days after the brazen operation, the Fantastic Four who entered the hideout in Khan Yunis are recounting the dramatic rescue operation, step by step.
I'm A, Chief Inspector in reserve, married with 2 children.
I, Superintendent, married with a child.
D, Chief Inspector, married with 1 child and another on the way.
Y, Chief Inspector, married with 2 children.
Tell me about the moment when you placed the explosive on the door and waited for the blast.
The door broke. I went into the location.
So in a moment, the silence turned into a huge mass of gunfire and explosions.
This is where the hourglass is flipped, and we were on a borrowed time to bring Fernando and Luis to safety. I identified Fernando and Luis crawling on the floor. The explosion woke them up. I identified 2 terrorists. I opened fire on them. Fernando and Luis are crawling towards, inside the hideout, away from us. When I spoke to Fernando afterwards, I understand that the terrorists told them to follow them.
I went in after A, saw him clashing with the terrorists. I immediately identified Fernando and Luis. Fernando was close to me. I jumped on top of him and grabbed him.
Do you say anything?
I didn't say anything, just grabbed him and threw him towards the balcony. Luis was still crawling inside the building towards the terrorists.
Did they speak to them? Did they say in Hebrew, we are Israelis?
We yelled IDF to be on the safe side, because they will definitely understand that. Come with us. They were still in shock at that point. I grabbed Luis by the leg right before we reached the terrorists, took him out to the balcony. By now they had a bulletproof vest on them. We lay on top of them, so if a bullet or shrapnel came our way, it will hit us, and they will remain unharmed.
What was their first reaction? What did they say?
On the balcony they said, "I don't believe it." They thanked us. The minute we made it to the balcony, we were met by the hail of bullets from within the building and from nearby buildings as well. They opened fire at us and threw hand grenades. 2 combat soldiers that were with us covered us, fired into the building and towards the adjacent buildings.
The Air Force assisted by firing close to us, very, very close to us. I didn't think they ever fired so close to ground forces.
You mean you could feel the blast from the airstrikes?
I could see them exploding a few feet away from me.
At that point, we wanted to make sure that any terrorist in the area still thinking about getting involved would decide against it.
How long did it take from the moment the door was detonated until the moment you made it out with them and all the terrorists in the apartment were dead?
Seconds.
How accurate was the intel the Shin Bet gave you? Did it match what they found when you got there?
We felt like we have already been there. That's how accurate it was. Everyone on the ground knew exactly what to expect, and it matched what we saw.
This kind of operation can go wrong at any point. If someone hears us, if they are still awake, if someone sees us, we prepared a response for every scenario. Luckily, everything went as planned.
How did you decide that you were the one to go in first?
I decided it would be him because he is very good at what he does.
Don't air this part.
I said on the radio that we have the diamonds. By the way, he came up with that, the diamonds. He makes up the names, and this brings us to the next step of the operation. We began out withdrawal.
All this happening while you were on top of Luis?
Yes, on the balcony, with the world exploding around us.
You couldn't have taken them out through the door?
No, and I didn't want to. The decision was made. We planned for it. It was something we were prepared for. 2 combat soldiers joined us. We told them, "You going up sailing today." They went with it.
How high was it?
2 stories. They made it down within seconds.
After that, we joined the other forces. We kept them secured. I and A are with them, taking them with them. And I told the hostages, keep close to them, walk by them. It will be okay. Keep up the main mission. We have them. Now we needed to keep them safe.
How many armed terrorists came your way?
I think dozens.
Dozens of armed terrorists?
Yes.
And you took them out?
Not necessarily.
I have to say, we got a lot of help from the Air Force. They gave us the security we needed to work. I must say, Luis and Fernando were amazing. We expected them to be weak, scared, confused, but they were sharp, cooperative.
הם היו נורא קואופרטיביים, שיתפו פעולה לאורך כל המבצע.
The average person in that situation, under fire, waking up to that scene, should be scared, terrified. But they were incredible. We thought we might have to carry them on gurneys, but they walked beside us.
They ran?
Yes, they ran with us, kept up with us at the pace of the fighter.
This was a very dangerous operation. How do you deal with the fear, with the possibility that you might not come back, or come back injured?
It was clear to me that I might not make it back, that I might get hit or die. That's okay, it's something you come to terms with. The moment we were on the ground and started working, nothing is scary, nothing is stressful. We work the way we know.
For me, it was as if I was on a mission to rescue my own father. And he has grandkids, like my father has kids, like Luis and Fernando. This is something that I carried with me. It makes you put aside everything else and tell yourself, I'm doing something bigger than me.
אין מילים לתאר את האושר שהבאתם אותנו הביתה. אמרתם שאנחנו יהלומים. אבל פה אתם היהלומים שבקטע.
כשראיתי אתכם, הרגשתי הכי בטוח בעולם. זהו, תודה רבה.